tell people, talk to Rich Dad's show, Poor Dad. So if you've never read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it's just this mindset of people who get real estate, who get investing, are the people you want to spend time with if you're trying to raise money or learn how to raise money. People who that is foreign to them, which is probably if you're young, a lot of your friends do have absolutely no understanding of how to raise money or real estate or anything like that. And you will spend a lot of time trying to convince those people to give you money, or family. If your family's not in that lane like mine, it's just wasted air. You have to show those people that it works over time, and then they will come in. But rich dads already understand the concept. So I was trying to raise money for the second investment, and I put together what I thought was like a one pager of like, hey, there's this little dinky house outside of Irvington, and I think I could buy this one. I could do blah, 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 blah. And I put it all together, put it in a one pager. And at this time, as I'm transitioning from that corporate job to Refinery 46, I'm meeting with Jesse Cross, one of the owners there. So Brian Shutt, Jesse Cross. I remember it was on my interview to take over Refinery, and Jesse goes, no one ever tells me what I'm supposed to ask people in these interviews. He goes, do you like real estate? And so we just start talking about real estate. We don't even talk about Refinery or anything like that. And by the end of it, I said, hey, I have this one pager. I've been talking to this guy who said he would want to invest with me. Would you look it over and give me feedback? So I sent it to him. He texts me later. He says, if that guy backs out, I'll invest with you. Totally, again, not investing with me to get me to take the job at Refinery. It was just like, he's like, I love real estate. I believe it's the way to financial freedom for everybody, and I'd love to help get you started. So he loans me like $17,000, and like that's how we buy the next one. The third house, we actually, per Rex's advice, emailed all of the people who donated to us in the missions field, who knew us, who knew our character, who knew our journey, and said, hey, we're not in the missions field anymore, but here's this kind of missional pivot we're doing as we're trying to figure it out. If anyone has interest in like participating, let's have a conversation.
It's funny because I got that email.
Oh yeah.
And I think maybe Max did, and my dad did too. And it was like, this is super interesting. Like, we should think about, and I was like, wait, Dad, invest in me? No, right? I'm just kidding.
No, there was a moment where I'm like about to respond to an email and say, yeah, I'll be the investment partner on this property. And then I'm like, wait, Max, what are you doing?
And that leads into a possible discussion about how like we don't have to go down this road, but like a lot of out-of-state investors we believe should be investing in local operators like you or me or Max, not trying to do the thing themselves.
Right. You shouldn't try to build a portfolio from distance. If you haven't been here, you don't know the tenants.
Yeah.
You can't articulate the story, right? But what you've been able to do is essentially promise a return on 2 years for a down payment on a property. We don't have to get into the semantics of how the closing process works, but essentially somebody's investing if it's 20-25% down with you.
Making what?
10%, 10%.
Yeah. And they get that return in full in 2 years, and hopefully go and do it again. The coolest thing, you've been able to do that with the cash flow of the properties.
Yeah.
How cash flow? What? How does that even work?
Yeah.
Like it literally to me seems impossible today to cash flow.
Yeah.
And you've been able to pay your investors back that down payment 2 years down the road from the gross profit of the portfolio. I hope that continues for you. I imagine as interest continues to get higher, it'll be harder to do that. But I full-heartedly believe it is because of the tenant-first mindset and the way that those tenants are also investing in you and relying on you to show up.
Have you ever had an issue with paying back your investors, or do you foresee it ever?
Yeah, so we've not had to refinance a single house. But yeah, we've paid them all back from the cash flow.
Doesn't that mean it would have to cash flow 10% cash on cash? Is that math right?
I think so.
It's just
right,
which
is like a ridiculously good deal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say it's just to not overcomplicate a lot of it, because like
get out the spreadsheet,
get out the calculator.
One way I like to frame it is say it's 20. Let's just talk about $100,000 house. It's $20,000, 10% interest. So after year one, that's 22. After year two, that's like 24,100. So $24,000 and plus some extra. You owe them that in 2 years. So take any cash flow you make during that time. Now, a benefit of being able to lease. So a lot of these houses, we put a tenant in the day after closing. So we close, a tenant moves in. So we get like that first free month.
You're beating almost, you could be 2 months depending on what day you close.
Yes. So that helps immensely. So you get that money in. Say you make, I don't know, $9,000. I don't know, over those 2 years. You have $9,000. That's it. You owe 24, you made 9.
Yeah.
Would you pay? And now if I go backwards and I say, if you give me $15,000 and you can have a cash flowing house, would you have done it? And the answer is yes. Like that was the simple math for me of like, I'm just sometimes by taking on that promissory note, I'm just saying I'm really buying this house 2 years from now and it's operating and I'm getting it for less than what I could get it for today with somebody else's money. Now
it's the adverse of seller financing, because seller financing, if I wanted to buy your $100,000 house, I would tell you that I'll buy it for 120 and we're going to put it over the course of however many years to where it'd be worth 120. Yeah. So literally just flipping that again. When what's working, do the opposite. Whatever the heck you said earlier about Tim Ferriss.
Yeah.
I just read his 5 Bullet Friday. I don't know. I don't know anything else about him.
Yeah.